Welcome to the Taikun Kubernetes Deployment Showcase. Today, we are going to show you how easily you can deploy and manage Kubernetes cluster with Taikun. Let's dive right in. To set up a Kubernetes cluster with Taikun, the first thing you need to do is create a new project. A project in Taikun is a logical grouping of Kubernetes clusters. To create a new project, navigate to the Projects page and click the Add Project button. In the Project Name field, type a name for your project. In the Cloud field, select the cloud provider that you would like to deploy your cluster to. If you have multiple cloud providers connected, they will appear in the drop-down list. These are the minimum requirements for project creation. If you have specific requirements, you can specify a Kubernetes version, add already created profiles, enable additional services such as monitoring and backups, enable AI Assistant, expiration date, or auto-scaling. You can watch our detailed video tour on how to create a project or find all this information in our official documentation. Congratulations! Your first project is now available. And do not worry, if you forgot to enable additional parameters, you can easily do it when the project is already in place. Let's get started with deploying our first Kubernetes cluster. On the dashboard page, you can see the projects created in Taikun. The color of the pie chart is an indication of the status of the project. You will see a list of all the projects you have created when you click on it. Simply select the project you want, and you can jump straight to it. There are two options in the top left-hand corner of the screen. First is Kubernetes View. This is where we will set up servers and create a Kubernetes cluster. And the second is VMs. Here, you can set up a separate cloud virtual machine on the same network. The Settings button with a pop-up menu allows you to enable additional options if you have skipped them during the project creation. The AI Assistant is one of the most powerful features of Taikun. Let's enable it and choose our AI tool, displayed in the drop-down menu. Press Enable button and close the setting bar. Once we set up the servers for your Kubernetes cluster, you will see Commit and Repair buttons. You can upgrade the Kubernetes to the latest version by using the Upgrade button. Lock the project so that users cannot change anything. Here is what Taikun suggests. The Kubernetes cluster should have one worker, Bastion, and a Kubernetes master. If you want to have a high availability cluster, you will need to create 3 masters. In the following section, you'll see the parameters of your cluster, which cloud provider your cluster will use, and which version of Kubernetes will be deployed. If you haven't selected it, Taikun will choose the latest stable version. Click on the Add Server button and follow Taikun's instructions. But first, let's select the resources available from your cloud provider. For our example, just a few types will suffice. Now let's start adding servers. We will start with a worker. When you enter worker, Taikun will automatically assign the appropriate role. Choose a resource from the list that suits your needs. Let's use a larger one. Keep the size of the disk. You can also attach labels to each server. Click Add when you're ready. Next, let's add a server called Bastion. This server will act as a proxy to access our cluster. Just start typing Bastion as the name, and Taikun will set the role again automatically. For resources, choose the smallest option since this server won't have much load. Leave the disk size unchanged. Finally, let's add the master server. Type master in the same way. This time, choose larger resources and press Add. Great. The prompts have disappeared, and now you can use the Commit button. Taikun will create a Kubernetes cluster, configure networks, and set up routers in your cloud provider. Click the button and confirm if you're satisfied and don't need any further changes. Take a break and wait for a while. In just 10 minutes, Taikun has set up a fully functional Kubernetes cluster for you. The access IP address to connect to your cluster and its current status are displayed in the information panel. Please refer to our official documentation for a full guide on how to use the functional buttons to manage your cluster. When you come back to the dashboard page, you will be given a complete overview of the infrastructure that Taikun has set up for you. This includes the number of servers that are part of the Kubernetes cluster and the cloud provider where they're deployed. You'll also find specific sections for the monitoring of the Kubernetes itself. Each pie chart is interactive, so you can have direct access to the data you need. We hope this video tour helps you understand how quickly and easily you can deploy a working cluster with Kubernetes using Taikun. We look forward to powering your cloud management journey.